And the answer to this is it comes back to part of the problem that we have with changing assessments post the correction period. And that is that once that return's been been submitted, that assessment is standalone and doesn't automatically link forward or backwards. You have to view that as its own beast, right? And the reason that it doesn't automatically roll forward to 2020 and 2021 is actually because the law says it shouldn't. Because in Maddox versus the commissioner, what had happened in this case was that there'd been a taxpayer who had entered into a dispute with SARS. And I forget the exact tax periods that this was now in connection with. I think it was must have been like 13, 14, and 15, right? In the end, they ended up settling 13 and 15, but they left 14 as part of the objection. They ended up going to tax court on the 2014 issue. They had their big bun fight in tax court on this particular issue. And in the end, SARS won that, and they got an agreement from the court that the deduction that the taxpayer had claimed was incorrect, right? And as a result, there was a significant reduction in the assessed loss for that particular year, because there was now a whole bunch of expenses which were reversed. SARS then went and said, okay, great, we won this for 2014, right? Yeah, so we won this for 2014, but now 2015, 16, 17, and 18, let's go back and reopen all of those and go and fix the assessments rolling forward. And Maddox went and said, no, but those returns have now prescribed. We are now more than 3 years post when that return was submitted. That return's prescribed. 2014, we can still reopen because the prescription is halted while we're in the middle of legal dispute. But 2015 wasn't subject to legal dispute. It stands. And they won at a Supreme Court level. So because 2015 had prescribed, SARS couldn't take. Yes, they effectively won the court case, won the principle, but they ended up getting no additional taxes out of it because their 2014 year of assessment was still an assessed loss position, so there was no tax payable, and they couldn't go and adjust the assessed loss that had been rolled forward to 15 going forward. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why it doesn't happen automatically, especially if it's an older objection. In theory, if it's something if it is returns where the assessments haven't prescribed yet, they should. Practically, it's a little bit of a messy issue, okay, because of the fact that there are prescription issues. So I do see there were some comments about how for trusts they do it automatically, but they don't necessarily do it for companies. And strictly speaking, if you do have a scenario where the adjustment is not in your favor and they do it automatically, you can actually go and complain, because you can go and say, in terms of Maddox, those returns are prescribed and you actually can't go and change them.